Today, I wanted to share 3 life-changing habits that literally have me thriving in my home and work life. Welcome to my channel, Just Angelica J. I'm Angelica. So, most of us probably have this routine of wake up, hurry, 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 go, 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 crash, burn, repeat. Well, at least I did. Until I really sat down and just tried to figure out how I can change things to be more productive in my life and do this in a manner that didn't cause me anxiety and stress. Let me share with you the first thing I did, and that was prioritize myself. Prioritizing myself doesn't necessarily mean me time. I'm not coming from a place of selfishness. I'll give you an example. So when you are on a flight to go somewhere, you're on an airplane, and the flight attendants do the demonstration of emergency situations, like in the case of an emergency, the oxygen mask will drop down. What is the first thing that they ask you to do? Don't worry, I'll tell you. You're supposed to put the oxygen mask on yourself first, then assist the person next to you if they need your assistance. Now that is so important to apply in daily life, because if you do not care for yourself first or make sure that you're squared away and you've taken care of what you need to do for yourself, you probably won't have the energy, at least I didn't. I didn't have the energy or even patience or time management to help those around me. I couldn't find enough time to get everything I wanted done in a day. And it was causing a lot of stress, anxiousness, and for some of you, you follow me on this channel, and I haven't posted in well over a year. It's probably almost 2 years. And one of the reasons is because I found myself just sort of all over the place. And I really had to look inward and say, okay, what's going on, Angelica? And I realized, for one, I needed to prioritize myself first. What that looks like for me is having a morning routine. I am fortunate enough that I can work from home. My husband works from home and we homeschool. So there's a lot of things going on in my home, and even working from home, everything was just a hot mess. My schedule, my husband's schedule, and it just was not this balancing work and home and kids, and just everything was all over the place. And as much as I wanted to give myself to my family to make things run smoothly, I was actually neglecting myself and not getting done what I needed to get done. So prioritizing myself first really made it a lot easier to help the kids, do things I needed to do on the home life, work front. And I just feel like this just was a huge key, especially when I work from home and I have to manage my time. And I can't do any of that if I just dread getting up in the morning. So I created a morning routine that really helped me start my day in a positive place. For me personally, because some people don't prioritize things the way I would or feel the way I would, so I'm only speaking from my own journey here. But the way I start my day will probably determine how I go throughout the day. So if I start in a negative headspace or just don't feel well, I might as well just give up on the day. That's just how I am. And it's not even about being overly happy. If I just don't feel rested, or if I just wake up with stress, it just sets the tone for the rest of the day. So my morning routine, and it's not a difficult one, it's just I make sure I etch time out for my morning routine. I work late, I get up late. My husband likes to get up early and go to bed early. That works for us in our home. I'm so fortunate. My husband loves to get up early. When the kids get up with him, they kind of handle things themselves, and I can sleep an extra hour should I want to. Sometimes I get up early as well, but I like having that option. I've created that option in my home, in my work life for myself, and that again falls back on prioritizing myself first. So I get up, I do stretches in bed. Even before I take the blankets off, I'm under the blankets just stretching it out, yawning it out, doing whatever I have to do to kind of wake up. I sit up, I sip water. I always have iced water next to me, within arm's reach, and I drink some of that, wake things up, go to the bathroom. I start with brushing my teeth, washing my face, all that stuff. Then This I find very important for me. You might also find this a big key to having a good morning. For me, it is coffee or tea, because sometimes I do both. I love a good English breakfast tea, and I definitely love coffee. I am not a coffee snob, so sometimes my cup of coffee might be brewed, percolated, whatever my husband makes in the coffee pot. Here recently, I just kind of like the convenience of instant Korean coffee. Like I said, I'm not a coffee snob. It works for me in my house. So I make sure to enjoy coffee in the morning. That just works for me. It gets me in the right headspace to attack the day should I need to do that, because sometimes my days are pretty easy. Also, prioritizing myself also helps me to prioritize my time, because I started to value my time. I didn't realize before I kind of got into this mindset, I was just dedicating time to other people's problems, things that really shouldn't have affected me. And by the end of the day, I just realized, okay, I'm super tired, I'm burnt out. What did I get done? So value your time, or I started to value my time more. And what that looked like to me was saying no. I know a lot of people just don't like the word no. They make it a negative thing. And I think we should reevaluate the way we look at the word no, because the power of no, when you are trying to set boundaries and value your time, is really a powerful tool. So setting boundaries, valuing your time, it all falls under the umbrella of prioritizing yourself first. And don't feel guilty. At first, I know a lot of us don't like to set boundaries because you feel guilty telling people no, or just not making yourself readily available for other people. I found myself sometimes in that situation, and I just had to just say, wait a minute. How can I value my time when I'm, for example, helping someone that doesn't even value their own time, much less mine? And you have to learn to recognize that. So as soon as I recognized that, it was so easy to pinpoint how unstructured my day was, just for the simple fact that I did not prioritize myself first. And again, I want to reiterate, I'm not coming from a selfish place, but fall back on that example I gave you from the airplane. So there's that. Habit number one that really started changing things for the better in my life was prioritizing myself first. Okay, number two. Habit number two, focus on completing one thing. And what I mean by that, again, that sounds like such a luxurious thing in this day and age, to just be able to wake up and say, I'm just going to do one thing. That's not necessarily what I mean. I definitely have my morning routine. I definitely have to make sure my kids eat, everyone's squared away. But when it came to work, because work, for the most part, whether you work from home, whether you're a stay-at-home parent or a relative that takes care of kids or just stays at home for your partner, that's a job in itself. I don't know when we determined that being a stay-at-home whatever is not a job. It is a job to run a household and to just make sure things run smoothly for the people that come in and out of the house. So whatever your job title entails, for work, I had to really focus on completing a task, at least one, to give myself a feeling of accomplishment. Because in the past, if I didn't get 10 things done, I just kind of would freeze. I would be so overwhelmed before I took the first step to getting anything done that I would just get nothing done. So I found myself just overwhelmed mentally, even before I started to do things that I really needed to do. And it's almost like there was two versions of myself. It was the go, go, go and help other people and not help yourself. And basically it was a waste of time for getting things done that I needed to do. Or I would just be so overwhelmed and short on time and I wouldn't get anything done. And I just kind of was there was no balance. It was just this spectrum of over here or over there, but everything in between, just things weren't getting done. So focusing on completing one thing just really, it was almost like this exercise for my mind that I would get one thing done and I would just have to say, do not feel guilty, Angelica, that you didn't get all 10 things done. You did one thing and that's great. Maybe we can knock it out tomorrow. And just changing that mindset actually made me more productive in my work. So focusing on getting one thing done. And after you get that one thing done, if time allows, do something else. And it's really about time management. I feel like time management and all these things that I'm talking about really do fall under the umbrella of just prioritizing yourself and recognizing, put yourself first. And then if there's time to spare, or, if you need to change your daily routine up to etch in time or fit in time for something else or someone else, then do so. But prioritizing yourself, your time, it really makes a world of difference when you're really trying to get out of like this rut or this fight or flight mode that a lot of us live in. Just like I said in the beginning, most of us live this lifestyle of like waking up late, and then you wake up like freaked out because you're running late, and then you're rushing. You don't get time for the morning just to even open your eyes and say, hello world. Most of us just roll out of bed and right out the door. And the whole day, we're literally just running around off of adrenaline, coffee, or tea. And that's like so stressful. And I lived that way for a long time. And so recognizing that I need to just focus, I need to value my time more, I need to prioritize the things that will work for me so it'll work for my family. Just so crucial to this. This whole thing that just really changed my life. Even now, I still work on it, but like I said, recognizing these tools that work for me, it just makes a world of difference. And another thing, I even recognize that multitasking, because how many of us pride ourselves on the talent of multitasking? And I understand it has its place in life, in the workplace, in the home life to multitask. I do that all the time. But I started kind of like saying, oh, I'm multitasking. But what it really turned into was just putting out fires every which way and not really getting one thing done. So that was another like behavioral pattern in the workplace or home life that I recognized within myself, that really I wasn't getting done what needed to be done because I was too busy over here with this distraction. And I just, okay, let's put a Band-Aid on that. Let me do a quick fix on whatever that is. And then I'll move over here and do the same thing. But at the end of the day, when I realized, what did I do with my time? I didn't get the thing done that I needed to get done. And all these other little fires are still embers that didn't get put out because I didn't complete those either. It almost reminds me of that saying, jack of all trades, master of none. That's kind of like what I started turning into. This jack of all trades, but I just didn't master one thing. And, some people are big picture people where you just look at the big picture and figure out how to get from point A to point B. I just kind of obsess over details and small things, and that's just what works for me. I know some of the things that I'm saying just might not work for you. This is just me sharing some of my personal journey here. So I like to write a list. Sometimes my list could be a list of 2 things or 3 things. For example, today I put on the list, I'm going to film a video because it has been almost a year and a half, 2 years, I'm not quite sure, that I posted on this channel. And I've been putting it off. I've been thinking about this for months, and I finally said, let me just do it. And that's going to lead me to my third final habit that kind of helped transform what I'm doing in my daily life: letting go of what others think of you. If there is anything you take away from this video, I want you to take away that for my own personal experience. Letting go of what others think of you. I still struggle with this, don't get me wrong, but when I started to really let that sink in, especially that I do content on YouTube, it was like this load was lifted off of my back. It relieved so much anxiousness that I felt to even pick up the camera and film myself. Or sometimes I overthink, like I have another channel where I post recipes. I overthink recipes. I'm like, do people want to see this? And sometimes some of the videos that do well are videos that I didn't even want to film at all. And had I not filmed them, how would I have known how successful they would have been? So letting go of what other people think of you is like this magical mindset that just has really helped me thrive. You can apply that mindset in so many places. Most of my life, I worried so much about, I was so afraid to do things for fear of being judged by my looks, my weight, my lack of talent, or, how intelligent people thought I was, or how dumb they thought I was or sounded. There's so many things that we beat ourselves up for. Honestly, I look back and I wonder, why did I dedicate so much time to worrying about what other people thought of me? Like, the fear I had was crippling. It really, truly was. And I think back and I think of all the time that I wasted. Let go of what people think of you. It really doesn't matter. It really, really, it shouldn't matter. And I used to obsess about it so much. And I kind of have tinges of that. I'm not perfect. I'm still working on myself. But just knowing that that is a choice of letting go what others think of me just worked wonders for my mind. And really and truly thinking about it, having this mindset, it just really held me back on probably just potential. We all have so much potential, and I'm sure we all can look within ourselves and say, why didn't I do that one thing? What stopped me from doing that? Oh, because so-and-so said I look like this, or I didn't have the talent, or I just didn't know what I was doing. Who cares? Who cares? If there's something that you want to achieve and the entire world is like, you're not good at this, why are you going to do it? How will you know if you don't try? I'm sure somebody's watching this probably thinking, one day I'll start a YouTube channel. One day I'll start social media. I'll share videos or whatever that may look like. I'm just using this as an example. And how many of you have been thinking and thinking and thinking, and before you know, a week goes by, a month, a year or two. I mean, look at me. I was so all over the place these last 2 years. I didn't even post videos on this channel. And I don't know if those of you are subscribed to me, you even want to see this content. That's okay, because we all evolve as people. But I worried about that. I worried about, what am I going to do? What should I do? Are they going to watch? At this point, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. I enjoy sometimes chatting and posting a video, and even if one person watches, that's enough for me at this point. I'm happy with that. I am super happy with that. It's fulfilling for me, and I should have never let it stop me from just continuing to post on this channel. Again, that's an example. And I'm sure many of you probably want to change jobs, probably want to just pivot in your career, pivot in your life, take a relationship to the next level. And you're so afraid that if you say something, then you'll just lose that relationship or lose a job and not get the one you're waiting for. Take that step to, I don't know, finding the place that you will be happier at. I can't tell you how many years of my life I had multiple jobs and I hated all of them. Rent is due, mortgage is due, car notes are due, student loans are due. There's so many things that we work to pay bills, but it's not very fulfilling. Again, I'm not saying quit your job and just stop paying bills, but if you find an opportunity and it's a big change, don't be afraid to take that step. Don't be afraid to take that step. Well, maybe be afraid to take that step for other reasons. I don't know what those reasons are, but definitely don't do it because you're scared what people are going to think of you. That should be the least of your worries. There are other things you should prioritize if you're trying to take a big leap of faith into a direction that scares you. The last thing you need to worry about is how people are going to judge you for that. And I guess that's what I did for myself. So it just helps me to be a better person, comfortable in the skin that I'm in. Look, don't get me wrong. I'm not perfect by any means, and I'm still a work in progress. Sometimes there are days when stress does creep in, but by prioritizing myself, focusing on one thing at a time, and letting go of what other people think of me, I've created so much more peace and productivity in my work and home life. It's just, I'm thriving, you guys. It's just really been working for me. So what about you? What are things that work for you with your work and home life? And like I said, your life doesn't have to be like what mine looks like. You can literally apply these 3 habits into any situation, whether you live alone or you're single. It could totally help in any situation. So if you like this content, you can subscribe. For those of you that are already subscribed, hello, it's me. I'm back. Give this video a thumbs up. And, you know, maybe I'll do more content. There's just so much going on in my personal life that I really don't share. And this is one of the reasons why I created this channel. So those of you that kind of know who I am, want to follow me along here and just kind of see what's going on behind the camera, so to speak, when I'm not doing my other channel. So anywho, I will see you in the next video. Bye.